Long ago, before man could speak his first word or light his first fire, the gods walked freely among mortals. The forests were deep and alive, the rivers had spirits, and the air was filled with songs of thunder, fire, and creation. Among all the gods, one stood apart. Ogun, the god of iron. He was the builder, the warrior, the one who tamed fire and shaped the first blade. Without him, there would be no tools, no weapons, no progress. But with every spark of creation came a shadow, destruction. Inside a cave glowing with red light, Ogun stood bare-chested before a roaring forge. Each strike of his hammer shook the ground. The mountains trembled. Molten sparks became stars in the sky. He spoke to the fire. From you I create strength. From you I shape destiny. When the iron cooled, it took the shape of his sword, smooth, sharp, alive. He raised it high, and lightning flashed. Thus began the age of iron. Far below the mountain lived humans, weak, afraid, scraping life from earth with their hands. Among them was Ayinke, daughter of a humble blacksmith. She often looked toward Ogun's mountain and said, "If only the god of iron would share his fire, we would never starve again." Her father warned her, "Child, fire is powerful, but it burns. Gods do not give without a price." Still, Ayinke's curiosity grew. In the same land, Adedayo, the warrior prince, dreamed of glory. He believed his destiny was to unite all kingdoms by iron and blood. But men still fought with stones and wood. One night, he knelt before Ogun's mountain and shouted, "Ogun, Lord of Iron, give me your weapon, and I will make your name feared." Thunder rolled across the hills, and a deep voice answered, "If you desire power, you must prove you can bear its weight." The ground cracked open, revealing a trail leading to the god's forge. Inside the forge, Ogun towered over the prince. His eyes burned like hot coal. To hold iron, you must sacrifice blood. He handed Adedayo a hammer. "Strike the anvil, but remember, every blow would take something from you." The prince struck once, and his right hand burned. He struck again, and his heart grew heavy. The third time he screamed, but in his hand now was a blade of divine iron. Ogun smiled faintly. "Go, and remember, the weapon you carry is your soul made solid." Adedayo returned to his kingdom with the sword blazing in sunlight. He conquered his enemies with ease. The people called him the Lion of Iron. But power changed him. He began to believe he was greater than the gods. Even Ayinke, who once admired his bravery, now feared his thirst for blood. One night, Ayinke approached the palace. The smell of burning villages filled the air. She begged Adedayo, "My prince, stop this war. Ogun gave you iron to protect, not destroy." Adedayo laughed bitterly. "Weak hearts cannot rule kingdoms. Tell your god, I no longer need him." At that moment, lightning struck the palace gate. Ogun had heard. From the mountain came the sound of thunder and drums. Ogun's eyes blazed red. "He has used my gift for pride. Now he shall taste its curse." He descended with fury, every step shaking the forest. The river spirits cried. The wind carried whispers. Ogun is coming. In the heart of the burning kingdom, Ogun met Adedayo on the battlefield. The ground cracked. Fire rose. Steel clashed against divine metal. Ogun roared, "You took iron but forgot discipline." Adedayo fought bravely, but his blade shattered like glass before Ogun's hammer. As he fell, Ogun said, "Power without honor destroys its master." Ayinke ran to the fallen prince. She wept as thunder faded. "Lord Ogun, spare him," she cried. The god looked upon her sorrow and said softly, "I do not kill for joy, I kill for balance." He touched Adedayo's chest, and the warrior spirit rose, not to heaven, not to hell, but into the forge, bound forever as fire. Ogun turned to Ayinke and said, "Take this gift, not the sword, but the hammer. Build, do not destroy. Teach mankind to shape, not to kill." And from that day, Ayinke became the first human blacksmith. She taught her people how to make tools, plows, and spears, not for war, but for growth. As peace returned, the sky opened, and Oya, goddess of storms, appeared. She stood beside Ogun, smiling. She said, "You burn like fire, Ogun, but even fire must rest after creation." They walked together into the sunset, their union giving birth to thunder and wind, the eternal dance of storm and flame. Centuries later, the people of Yoruba still remember Ogun. Before every blacksmith strikes his first blow, he whispers, "Ogun Lao Peo, Lord of Iron, bless this work." And somewhere in the wind, the god answers, not with thunder, but with a spark that lights the forge of creation. Power is not evil, but when power forgets purpose, it becomes destruction. True strength is not in the sword, but in the hand that builds after the battle.